stewardship, a time to consider our giving in light of our faith and to gather our financial pledges for the church's 2018 budget. During the month of January in our worship, as we follow the one who says, "I am the light of the world," members of our congregation are offering testimonies, speaking to where they see the light in their own lives, in our life together as a congregation, in signs of hope they see in the world, and in their response to Christ's call to be light, to let light shine in their lives that all may give praise to God. So today, salt of the earth, light in all our lives, the definition of discipleship of Ed Hall. He offers our testimony this day.
Good morning. It is a privilege for me to appear before you, and indeed I think of aha moments. You've all had aha moments. We all know what an aha moment is. If you travel to Rocky Mountain National Park, or you go to Yosemite, or you go to Grand Canyon, and you see nature in all its glory, you've had an aha moment. Beautiful music and glorious art provide wonder that takes our breath away and leaves us speechless with awe. But this morning I'm talking about an aha moment that for me would be a blessing because it's from the Lord. Anne Lamott, who wrote the book many of you know is Help, Thanks, Wow. Such an aha moment would be a wow. I submit it as a moment that has a positive impact on a life, showing direction and meaning. I take it as a moment where one is overwhelmingly aware of the grace of the Lord and the wondrous blessing that He has provided to us, providing overwhelming love. I would like to share with you two personal aha moments that I consider blessings from the Lord. When I was a senior in college, I wrestled with what next, as we've all faced that. Because the 4 years of sort of a cocoon were coming to an end, and then there was a year when, what am I going to do? And I didn't have much of an idea. I had thoughts coming and going, but not a clear direction. And my family, I came from a medical family, from my grandfather to my father to my sister, and sort of the assumption was, you're going to be in the medical field and be a doctor. I did not have that desire, or really that purpose, but I had no other fill-in. And it seemed that I'd have to go in that direction. I really didn't feel comfortable with that. In addition to that, the peers in my graduating class seemed to know exactly where they were going. Some were going to a job that was waiting for them with their family, I guess, that had an opening, and they would continue that business. Others were going to join the service. There were a number of people in my class who joined Naval Officer Candidate School. But the great majority were going on to graduate school. They were going to go to law school. They were going to go to business school. They were going to go to divinity school. They were going to go to medical school. And there I was. Recently, the Surgeon General of the United States was asked by a reporter, of all the diseases in the United States, which is the most prevalent one? Is it cancer? Is it heart? Is it diabetes? Is it stroke? And he said, none of those. The most prevalent is isolation, is the feeling of being alone. And I felt that way at that particular time, I can tell you right now. And it's frightening. But I was fortunate in that I was privileged to be in a small group to sit on the floor cross-legged in front of the poet Robert Frost, who was seated in a chair, and he was reading his poetry, interpreting that poetry, giving some meaning and some perspective. And he read the ones we're familiar with: Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening, Fire and Ice, Mending Wall, all favorites. And then he read The Road Not Taken. And I'm going to quote the last two lines of that. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference, unquote. I did have my aha moment at that point, and I knew that when I left college, everything would be all right. That was a blessing from the Lord. The second blessing I'd like to share with you is more recent. Last summer, I had the honor of being asked by my granddaughter to officiate at her marriage. She was married up in the mountains of Breckenridge, which I'm sure many of you are familiar with, on Peak 10 at 10 Mile Station, which was a large facility that enabled the flexibility of moving the ceremony inside if the weather did not cooperate, instead of being outside, which they'd planned for such a long time to take in the beauty of the Rocky Mountains. And unfortunately, the night before, there was a forest fire that was coming down from Frisco to Breckenridge. So much so that where my children live in Blue River, which is just south of Breckenridge, you could see the flames, not only the smoke, but you could see the flames. So plans were immediately made to move that ceremony inside. During the night, however, the wind shifted and the fire blew back on itself and blew itself out. But unfortunately, in the morning, the day dawned overcast and drizzly. And so the plans continued to have that inside. However, about noontime, it stopped raining. And then by 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, there was a beautiful warm sun and perfect blue sky. And after wiping off the chairs from the rain, we could have the ceremony outside. And the ceremony seemed to go well, thanks to Chris. And we had an enjoyable reception, enjoyed by family and friends. At the end of the evening, when most of the guests had left, I walked out onto this large patio where the ceremony had been held, and down at the end where the vows were taken, I noticed the newly married couple staring out at the mountains, and I worried to myself, what must they be thinking? The years of planning for this particular ceremony were over. There must be a letdown. And then there must be a concern about what next? Their future, the apprehension and the fear and the worry that they might have. And then I saw the couple silhouetted underneath the starry, clear, beautiful sky, looking at the Rocky Mountains with a full moon rising. That was my aha moment, the presence of the Lord, and I knew their future was going to be fine. Anne Lamott, again, has written in her book, "Unto us so much is given, we just have to be open for business." I interpret that to mean that we have received much. Now we have a responsibility to give back. I view stewardship as synonymous with opportunity. And I think personally of three opportunities. Certainly one is showing gratitude for all that we have received. But a second one is, in this chaotic world that we are living in now. Stewardship gives us the opportunity to prioritize our values and to shine a light appropriately. The third opportunity is to give back. Again, a shining light, but through our works, to make a difference in the lives of others. So stewardship provides opportunities to have an aha moment, not only for ourselves, but provide an opportunity for an aha moment for others. Teresa of Avila was a mystic who lived in Spain in the 16th century. She became a Roman Catholic nun, was known as the walking nun, as she would walk to take care of the needy, the poor. Didn't make any difference what distance she would walk. And 40 years after her death, the church canonized her and made her Saint Teresa. She did many writings, and many of you may be familiar with her prayer. I plan to read that now for you, and it should be familiar. Quote, "Christ has no body now but yours, no hands, no feet on earth but yours. Yours are the eyes through which he looks compassion on this world. Yours are the feet with which he walks to do good. Yours are the hands through which he blesses all the world. Yours are the hands, yours are the feet, yours are the eyes. You are his body. Christ has no body now on earth but yours." Unquote. That prayer was put to music, and many of you may be familiar with the opportunity that we have had to listen to Kaiser sing that song. Always sends goosebumps up and down. We are pleased to hear her beautiful voice sing that song. We are to be an instrument for the Lord here on earth to do his will, to be a light in this chaotic world, doing good works and glorifying the Lord. Stewardship can provide aha moments for all of us. Let us take advantage of the opportunities. Be big and bold for the Lord. Amen.